The train station was alive with noise, the kind of restless energy that came when hundreds of people were in a hurry. Announcements echoed from the loudspeakers, trains screeched as they pulled in and out, vendors shouted their prices, and the smell of roasted peanuts and hot coffee floated through the air. People rushed past one another, some dragging suitcases, others holding children by the hand. Everyone seemed to be in a hurry to get somewhere, as though time itself was chasing them. On the crowded platform, no one noticed an old man who stumbled near the edge. His legs were weak, his back bent from years of labor, and his hands shook as he reached for the walking stick that had slipped from his grasp. He tried to bend down, but his frail body would not cooperate. He wobbled dangerously, almost falling again. His eyes filled with fear as people brushed past, bumping his shoulder, pushing his arm, not sparing him more than a glance. The world moved on, cold and indifferent. "Excuse me, can someone?" The old man whispered, but his voice was lost in the roar of the crowd. His knees gave way and he lowered himself to the floor, searching blindly for the stick that had rolled under a bench. For a moment, it seemed no one would help. And then, through the chaos, a young man noticed him. He was perhaps in his early 20s, dressed in jeans and a simple hoodie, a heavy backpack slung over one shoulder. His name was Ethan, a college student heading home for the weekend. He had been running toward his platform when his eyes caught the sight of the old man on the ground. His heart clenched. He stopped. All around him, people rushed forward, not wanting to miss their trains. Ethan could feel the weight of his own schedule tugging at him. If he didn't hurry, he might miss his train too. But something inside him refused to let him walk away. He dropped his bag to the ground and rushed to the old man. Kneeling beside him, he gently touched his arm. "Sir, are you all right?" The old man looked up, his eyes tired and moist. "My stick. I dropped my stick. I can't stand without it." Ethan scanned the floor, spotted the stick under the bench, and crawled to retrieve it. He handed it back with a smile. "Here you go. Don't worry, I've got you." With slow care, Ethan slipped an arm around the old man's shoulders and helped him to his feet. The old man's legs trembled, but with Ethan's support, he was able to stand again. "Thank you, son," the old man said, his voice breaking. No one stopped. Everyone just walked past. "But you came back." Ethan shook his head. "I couldn't just leave you like that. Come on, let's sit over here for a moment." He guided the old man to a nearby bench and helped him sit. The old man's breathing steadied, and he leaned on the stick with relief. "You're kind," he murmured. "The world moves too fast these days. No one sees the weak anymore." Ethan sat beside him. "I think people see, but they're too focused on themselves. Sometimes it takes just one person to slow down and care." The old man studied him with watery eyes. "What's your name, son?" "Ethan." "Ethan," the old man repeated softly, almost like a prayer. "May you always have strength in your life. You've given me strength today." Ethan smiled shyly. "I only did what anyone should." But the truth was, not everyone would have. And deep down, Ethan knew that. As the minutes passed, Ethan realized his train had already departed. The announcement confirmed it. He sighed, but when he looked back at the old man, he didn't regret staying. Something about this moment felt more important than any schedule. The old man seemed to notice. "You missed your train because of me, didn't you?" Ethan chuckled softly. "There'll be another train. But there won't be another you." The old man's eyes welled again, and he reached out to squeeze Ethan's hand with surprising strength. "Son, you don't know what you've given me. All my life I worked, raised children, served my family. But now I'm alone. My children live far away, busy with their lives. Sometimes I wonder if anyone even sees me anymore. And today, you made me feel human again. That matters more than you know." Ethan was quiet, touched by the honesty in the old man's words. "Everyone deserves to be seen," he said gently. For the next hour, Ethan stayed with him, listening to his stories. The old man's name was Walter. He had once been a carpenter, building houses with his hands, creating strong beams and warm homes for families. His stories painted pictures of simpler times, of laughter and community, of days when neighbors knew each other by name. Now, his days were filled with silence. "Life is strange," Walter said softly. "When you are strong, the world leans on you. When you are weak, the world leaves you behind. But maybe kindness is what keeps us from being truly lost." Ethan nodded. "Kindness is what makes us human." Eventually, Ethan helped Walter to the taxi stand outside the station. He ensured he was safely seated inside before waving goodbye. Walter held Ethan's hand tightly one last time and whispered, "Son, today you were my angel. May you never walk alone in this world." Ethan walked back into the station, his heart strangely light, even though he would have to wait hours for the next train. That night, when he finally got home, he told his mother what had happened. She smiled through tears and said, "You may have missed a train, Ethan, but you didn't miss what mattered. That's the difference between living and truly being alive." Years passed. Ethan graduated, built a career, and carried that memory with him. He never forgot the day at the station, the trembling hand in his, the gratitude in Walter's eyes. It shaped the way he treated people, whether strangers on the street, colleagues at work, or neighbors in his community. He became known not just for his intelligence, but for his compassion. He volunteered at shelters, donated to elder homes, and often told younger people, "You'll never regret being kind. That's the one thing that always stays with you." And one day, long after Walter had passed on, Ethan stood in front of a group of students at a college seminar. He told them the story of the train station, how he stopped, how he missed his train, and how it changed him. He ended with these words. "You think kindness is small, that it costs you time or convenience. But the truth is, kindness doesn't take from you, it gives you more than you can imagine." That day, I thought I gave an old man his stick back. But what he gave me was far greater. He taught me that compassion is the true measure of a life well lived. The room was silent, filled with the weight of his words. And in that silence, a seed of kindness was planted in many hearts. Because kindness is never wasted. It always returns, sometimes in ways you cannot see, sometimes in ways that ripple through generations.